All right, let's take a quick look here and see what's going on for the day and see how the ESF futures have closed. As you know, we have had the same blueprint for the last several days, and I just want to see how we ended on today's session. You can see here, I went ahead and threw a rel in here. It's nothing fancy. You could also do one of these at home. I probably could have got just a tad bit neater with this, but it's okay. So far, it's doing what it's supposed to do. So you can see here, I'm going to bring this into the daily and just kind of show you what's happening. These are not, we do have an inside candle here. Okay, as far as the methodology goes here, this is inside, and we're moving up nicely. We moved out of the neutral. I said this morning that this candle itself was looking a little bit different than the rest, and I noticed that early on is that the bulls were pushing it up. So unlike these topping wick candles, we actually got a nice little hammer today. All right. So tomorrow, what I'll be looking for, I'll update this. Let's actually do that while we're on the screens right now. Give me 1 second. I need to pull up my other chart here and get the new line in the sand. So the new line in the sand for today is 3,445 and 3/4. So let's go ahead and edit that. 3,445.75. All right, so right there, it hardly moved, but that's okay. So tonight, what I'll be looking for is if we can get a little bit more of a move here into the maintenance of futures. What I'd like to see is a little pullback right into this level again and then make higher highs over today's session high, and then possibly wake up right here into the red box on Friday. And if you remember, if you've been following along, we are waiting for a nice 4-hour close over the 3471 area. If we can do that, what I'd be looking for into next week's session is a pullback into this box, holding this area, and then a further continuation up into what we call the trendy edge. And you could see here, okay, starting up here with this pivot, we'd be here, cross, up, pull back from this session, sort of a double top, if you will, and then nice cup and handle into the elections. Okay, so that's what we got going on there. On the bearish side, this entire formation, if you would, you could take it from this pivot high into here. This is basically going to be noise. All right, and notice, let's go back to what I was saying. Price needs to get over this level. These are things that we spotted several days ago. And again, out here will be the easier trade and or below here. Notice that today we still kept that 3409 level I talked about. That was the 38.2 of the entire range. Okay. All right, so this entire block, it's basically like an ice cube. There's going to be a lot of noise in there, but just, the biggest thing from here, can we make higher lows, higher highs, make our way up into this channel? Let's go ahead and go over snow really quick. SNOW. This was a hot name. We just basically did this from a Fibonacci perspective. You can look at it any way you want. There's a lot of good traders out there who probably have a whole different, spin on why they took it and so forth. Maybe I'm biased. I teach the easiest way to take a trade. In this situation here, we threw some fibs on it. We know around the 50 that price can basically go sideways here. It came back and checked the 50. All I did was pivot low to pivot high. Once it broke the golden Fibonacci level, and we actually covered this morning in our trade plans, we were looking for the move into the 76 and then potentially probably a gap up into 305 tomorrow, which will put us right to the trendy edge. Now, I will tell you, we've had two trades on this morning or this afternoon. The first one just being a naked directional trade. And some traders made 10x out of that. And then I went ahead and rolled into a vertical, making some nice percentages there as well. But from here, the question should be, where are we going? We're going to make this really simple. You're going to take a Fibonacci extension and you're going to use the most recent breakout level. So because this is all sideways chop, I want to go from the actual move out of here, which is going to be right here. And I'm going to double click on the previous high right here. And you're going to see we're going to get an extension of 23.6 and then the 38.2. This is what I'm going to be concentrated on. Depending if, this thing gets some sort of upgrade or some more momentum into tomorrow, possibly anywhere from 305 into 330. If you think 330 is too wide, you can actually take a Fibonacci and you can draw it from this pivot into this edge here. And let me just show you what that looks like. I'm going to go right here. And you can come up here and you could just use the 23.6 or, the 50 and so forth and find yourself a couple targets, 312 to 319. Now I did throw something on a riskier trade, well, I should say less allocation, but a big return, and I did some spreads that are basically in this region here. Okay, so that's SNOW. Let's go ahead and look at Amazon. This actually turned into a beautiful trade for me today. I went over and spoke with the members, and we like to kind of give some feedback into, well, what could we have done better? And so when we open up this morning, I actually took the trade, and I should know this, and I do know this, and it's okay, I went smaller, is that price was underneath the trendy edge, and when it's under there, we look for it to be resistance. I took the trade right at here as I was forecasting for a break of this, and then a potential move up. So what happened was price indeed rejected there. And if you go back to this morning, you will see that this box was here. Price pulled back into that box. So I added here. Okay. I added here. And then as soon as price pushed back up, I trimmed into these levels and I'm still holding. And again, looking for this green box to hold into earnings. If anything, if we get a pullback, I would expect it to be a higher low and then a move up here into earnings. Now, typically, you can see a nice, 30 to 50% retrace of this down extension, meaning price would move about 40 to 50% of this down move into earnings. And what that does, it sets you up for the all-time high, right? Which is right here, or in this area, sorry, not the all-time high, or back down to this green box. All right, and so we'll be talking about strategies when that comes for earnings. So I'm looking forward to that trade as well. Now, Apple, I took and I added, okay, and again, just building a position here. And you can see this was our blueprint coming into today. And again, I started really small here in the morning. It flushed, and I ended up adding up here. And price closed down, it looks like at 1.12. And the trade actually, is still red on the day, but again, the ad actually helped. Now looking over here, I want to go over a couple trades as well. CVX, so CVX I'm in. I doubled down on this bad boy inside the box, and then I hit my target here at 73.32. So then at 73.32, what I did was sold half, and got my cost basis down to $1.19 on the strikes that I currently have. Now these are for next week, so that's why I took some size off in order to lower that cost average. So again, it's at $1.19 is what it is now. And give me 1 second here. I'm going to go into my swing section. And I can see here CVX, I'm at a trade price now is $1.19 and it's currently trading at $1. I have the 75 calls for next week. What I'm looking for tomorrow for continuation through here is a break of 73.32, whether we gap up. If we pull back, I'd like to see it round out by the end of the day towards the afternoon session and break this high. And then I'm looking for a move into 74.5 and then continuation into 75 and 77 next week. All right, so over here on BA, I want to cover this as well. Boeing. I really like what I'm seeing here, especially on a daily. You can see that we are above the 9 EMA. For our trendy members here, You guys know what you see here. This is called a AC/DC. I'm looking for a move potentially into the 171 by 176 area. I do have some time now. I did buy what I would call a high risk trade. I don't like to call things lottos because I use my methodology for all of this. All right, so that's really important for me. And so the methodology for me, a couple things going on here. AC/DC setup above the 9 EMA, breaking the outer rail here, okay, on this down channel. And again, targets laying in around 171.5 and 176.80. Bigger picture, just to give you an idea, just a little bit of consolidation in this area. All right, other than that, I don't have anything else. Let me just make sure that I want to cover. Banks were awesome today. We did good in those as well. BAC and JPM. Again, Apple added red on the day for Apple. Overall, a green day, and that's a huge win for me because opening up this morning, I thought to myself, man, another day where I opened up green, went red, but today finished green is really nice. And so I think a lot of traders out there end up trading snow, whether you were in here or I see a lot of excitement out on Twitter where some people were in snow. So congratulations to everybody. I think you needed that, right? We all needed something that had a little bit of momentum behind it. So congratulations on that. All right, let me look across the board here. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Let's look at Google just really quick. Okay, so Google, again, I made this trade this morning. This was nice. We only got $5 out of it. I could have just kept my bracket on here, but I let it go. But this is looking really nice. Nice little breakout here into my next targets. So tomorrow, the way I want to play this is if we break over 1607, come back and check it, or just make highs over this previous wick here. I'm going to be long and probably staying in this as long as it can hold like the 30-minute or the 1 hour 9 EMA. And I'm looking for a nice move up here at around 1689, potentially into earnings. Now, what I was telling you guys a little bit earlier is if you take a look at this, you can see into earnings, you have earnings here, you have this downtrend here, you have this rounding bottom, and what happens is, remember what I was just showing you, price likes to come at about 50 to 40% of this area, all right into earnings, because what that does is it sets up you know, you you basically get those iron condors. You get people who are betting on the highs, and you have people that are betting that we come back down to those levels. So anyways, just keep that in mind. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. If you like these videos, please give me a like and please retweet. If not, if I don't see enough interaction, then I'll probably really start slowing down on these because I don't have to do them. But I appreciate you guys. Hope you had a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.